Good morning, watch fans. This is Big Jim on the Big Wrist, coming to you live from Las Vegas. Not really, I'm recorded. But anyways, I'm going to talk about how I got started in automatic watches and why I settled on the SKX as my first serious automatic. First watch I ever bought as an automatic was bought on the advice of Teddy Baldessari, who is got a fantastic YouTube channel. I recommend anyone who wants to see high value YouTube production, go watch Teddy's. Man, he knocks it out of the park. But he recommended this watch to me, the Orient Bambino. Not to me personally, but he recommended the Orient Bambino as the first watch. I got the dark blue. It's an automatic. It's got a great leather strap. It's the right size. Unfortunately, it's got a really soft crystal. It's got a hardlex crystal. Not hardlex. I'm sorry. It's got a Lexan crystal. So it's a plastic crystal. I scratched the daylights out of it within a matter of days. Had to buy the poly watch, and the poly watch allowed me to buff it out, and I sold it really quickly. And then, based on Federico Talks Watches, he was wearing this watch one day. He was wearing the fantastic SKX 007 one day, and I thought, wow, this is a great watch. So I picked one up, and I picked up a modified version. This one has had the standard 7000 series movement, which is just a no-hack Seiko wind watch. You have to shake it to wind it. This one has an automatic NH35 movement in it, so it allows me to hack and hand wind it. It also has I believe it has modified hands too. I can't remember. I think it's modified hands also. But it was a modified watch, and I bought it modified. The only thing I did to it was I added the ceramic bezel. You can see how nice and shiny that is. And of course I added the Jubilee. Once I found out how nice the Jubilees were, I couldn't stop buying them. So this was my first happy purchase automatic watch. Love it, accurate. And then I had a minor medical diagnosis of a traumatic brain injury. And the doctor wanted me to do things that were challenging but not dangerous. So he wanted me to do like puzzles and things. And so I thought, wow, I have all these automatic watches. I have all these. At the time, I had a bunch of fashion watches. I had a bunch of junk fashion watches. Some were automatic, some were not, but they were really inexpensive. I thought, I could start modifying my own watches because this is a really nice mod. So I ended up buying a bunch more SKXs. I bought this, my first one I bought that needed a mod. And so what I've done here was, to help with my memory and my fine motor skills, I modded the bezel. You can see the bezel's a fixed bezel, doesn't move. Of course, a new bracelet, which is an actual Seiko H bracelet. Very nice. There's the Seiko branding on it. And I added the handset, which is on here. I bought the press tools and everything else, and it turned out really well. It already had an NH movement in it, the NH35, so it already hacked and hand wind. But I put the Mercedes hands on it because at the time I was considering buying an Explorer or a Submariner and wanted to get used to wearing Mercedes hands. Turns out I'm not a huge fan on them. I like them, but they're not great. So I did that myself, most of this mod. Second one I bought was this. The third one I bought was this one. And you can see this modification is called the Pelagos mod. It has the snowflake hands, so I wanted to see what they look like. Love the snowflake hands, love the big indices, love the date only. Turns out that everything else, most of the SKXs are a day date. This is a date only. It doesn't have a ghost position. It's been modified with the correct movement. Has a sapphire crystal and the the ceramic insert. Super nice. But like a dummy, I took it apart and tried to regulate it because it was running 25 or 30 seconds fast a day. So I screwed up the balance really bad. I poked it, had a little tremor. I have, again, with the traumatic brain injury, you get a lot of weird things going on. And I messed this watch up pretty badly. Found a local guy to fix it. He fixed it for free because he's just such a great guy. Just an amazing watchmaker here in Vegas. He said he hates working on Seiko watches, but he'll do me a favor. And he fixed it for free. So anyways, he fixed it. I put it back together and haven't taken it apart since. And he got it to run at plus 10, so I'm fine with that. So then I bought this one. And I didn't take it apart. I didn't do it. I bought it just the way you see it, except for the bezel. I put the Pepsi on it, and I changed out the bezel and the bezel insert. I put the Pepsi color on it, though. I like the Pepsi color. And I put the rubber strap on it, and I called it good. This has Hardlex, which I would like to change. But whoever did the mod on it did a white chapter ring, and, you know, he did the hands, he did the nice lollipop. Did a good job. It's got that nice sunburst blue inside. So I forget where I got this. I know I got this as parts watch. Working parts watch with no strap. And I polished it up and just did a great job. So, you know, the SKX is a great watch to modify. You can just search for SKX 007 parts on YouTube. On YouTube and watch the videos. You can search SKX Mods on YouTube and on Google. And it will show you all these amazing guys who do a much better job than I do. So I sent, I believe this one I had to send off to a guy in California before I found the gentleman here locally. I sent this off because the second hands popped off. I believe I found the second hand laying in the bottom of the watch one day. And so rather than doing it myself, because I know I had problems, I sent it off to a guy in California who took forever, but only charged me $25 to put that second hands back on. So, I've broken a couple NH35 movements doing the mods and the change outs, and I have one extra movement here in the drawer in case for some reason I've decided to put a hack and hand wind movement on this one. I have the movement, but I'm perfectly happy the way it is. So, you know, 3 of these have sapphires, 1 does not. 3 of these hack and hand wind. This one, even though it's been modded by professionally modded, this one doesn't hand wind because the stem is too short. And so if you unwind it, you know, it's a problem with modified watches is they're not perfect, not by a long shot. And there's no warranty, no guarantee. So if you unscrew it, it's too short and it won't pop out far enough. It won't pop out halfway between the date and the screw down. So you literally can't hand wind it, but it does the Seiko shake fine. And I actually like this one the best because it is just a date only, very visible. I wear this one quite a bit of all the watches I have, of all the SKX mods I have. This one I wear the most. This is the one I took to California on the beach because of the rubber strap. You know, they've all been tested in my pool. These 2 have been tested in the ocean. They've all been tested in the pool to make sure that they're waterproof. I have the grease to grease the seals if I ever take it off again, but probably won't do that. You know, modifying SKX watches is a lot of fun. You need to know your limitations. I bumped up against mine, so I stopped doing it. But for people who are healthy and active and really like to tinker, hard to beat the SKX for sheer modifications. It's like Legos for adults. So many parts, so many things to pick from. I mean, none of these came from the factory like this. Not one of them. And yes, I'm bumping my watches around, and people hate that. I get comments all the time about the way I bump my watches around. Sorry. None of these came from the factory like this. Not one of them is a factory watch. This one is called I call it a stealth mod because it's modified to look like a factory watch, but it is not a factory watch with that cool bezel insert. And I believe the hands are not original either. You know, and of course the movements. An NH35, so it hacks and hand winds. But it's kind of a stealth mod. I like this one. It's one of my favorites. The pip fell out, and so I bought the paint. You can see the pip is gone. I bought the paint, and I filled it in myself. And it's okay. I put like 10 or 12 layers of paint on there, and it's okay. It's not as good as a regular pip. You know, it's not nearly as good, but it does glow in the dark. So, you know, let's get you guys a quick loom shot for everybody. Turn that off. Turn this off. I can find the little switchy dooey. There it is. So you can see, you know, everything glows like it's supposed to glow. That Pelagos mod, you know, is okay, but of course the factory loom on the SKX, hard to beat. Really is hard to beat the factory loom. Sorry about that, folks. Bumped the camera. So, you know, this has been Big Jim on the Big Wrist. Hope you enjoy my content. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend. And as soon as I get 100 people, as soon as I reach 100, I'm going to do a giveaway. You got to pick a watch to give away. And I reach 100 people as members or, you know, people who are subscribed, I will give away a watch. And I'm going to pick something nice. I've got 40 odd watches to pick from. So please tell a friend. Let's get this up to 100 so I can get one of these watches as a gift to somebody out there in YouTube land. You guys have a great day and take care.